Okay, so let's talk a little bit about pit stops in ChampCar. Here we have a very crude drawing of Road Atlanta. And let's imagine that we've got a race car that can do a minute 40 lap around Road Atlanta. So if it did two consecutive laps around Road Atlanta, it would cross, start, finish, go around the course, come back around, minute 40 later, go around and do that again. So I'm just going to put that on our lap list here, and the total of those two laps would be a minute 40 plus a minute 40, which ends up being 3 minutes and 20 seconds. So that would be the 2 lap total for that time. Now let's look at that same car coming into the pits. And once again, this is ChampCar. So if it started the first lap of a 2 lap set that's going to include a pit stop, it would be at start finish at full speed. It would come around, and then it would eventually come down this pit road, which is outside the track, unlike most tracks where it's inside, and come to a stop where Champ has the stop sign. Now, let's just look at the time from this point to this point. What is that time likely to be? Well, certainly if we took that same car and continued on the track, it would get to start finish more quickly than if it went this longer route and then had to come to a stop. So it's decelerating here. So to the first stop sign, it's going to be at least a minute and 40. Now, because this is ChampCar, we know that no matter how fast they fuel, the time from here to here has to be 5 minutes, because there's a timer on the car and they're not going to be released until they spend 5 minutes on pit lane. Okay, so that is the time from here to here. They may get there early and be held there, but that's how much time they're going to spend there. Now let's ask ourselves, from here back around a full lap and to start finish, what is that time likely to be? Well, anybody who's been at Road Atlanta knows that if you were at full race pace at start finish and a car was released from here, you would get into turn 1 well before they would, because this turn down here is reasonably tight and they're starting from a dead stop and you're going about 100 miles per hour when you cross start finish. So if we go back over here, we can say that leaving pit, the lap will be, once again, 140 or more. Now, that's not technically a full lap because it's starting here and going around, but it's going to be at least a minute 40 for the reasons I stated. You just think about comparing to a exactly identical car coming across start finish. When this car is released, which one would get to turn 1 first? The one on track would. So therefore, from here around can't be any less than 140 if 140 is the fast lap for that car. So the 2 laps together are going to equal 140 plus 140 plus 5 minutes. So that is going to be 8 minutes and 20 seconds or more. There is no way that that's going to be less than 8 minutes and 20 seconds. Now, a lot of people get confused because they look at where the timing line goes across pit road and they go, well, what if you're pitting in front of the timing line? Or what if you're pitting on the other side of the timing line? That's going to change the results. No, actually it doesn't. As long as you're looking at a 2-lap total, it will not change the results. You will still find that when you look on Race Monitor, that the 2 laps will total to something greater than 8 minutes and 20 seconds if they indeed did the required 5-minute stop. Now, if they played some funny games like swapping out the timer or something like that, they'll get those 2 laps to a sum lower than that 8 minute and 20. But if they're actually doing legal pit stops, there is no way the sum of the in lap and the out lap will be any less than 5 minutes plus two of their fastest laps. In this case, the hypothetical car had a fast lap of minute 40. So if their pit is before the timing line over here, what's going to happen is the in lap is going to be very long. So the in lap is probably going to be somewhere around 6 minutes. And then the out lap will be somewhere around, let's say, 2 minutes and 20 seconds, because they're still going to go down the pit lane, spend a little time stop there, depending on how quickly they got their stop done, and then go out and do that. On the other hand, if they are pitted after the timing line, what you're going to see probably is their in lap will be somewhere around 2 minutes, and their out lap will be somewhere around 6 minutes and 20 seconds. And once again, these are approximate, but that's how it will break out depending on which side of the timing line they are. But the end result is there's no magic here. If somebody has a combined time of 7 minutes, or even down in the 6 minutes, as we saw during one race a couple years ago, they clearly did not do the 5 minute time on pit lane that the rules require when you do a fuel stop.